lesson 3.5. Today we're going to be talking about solving two-step equations. So the past two lessons we talked about first adding equations using addition and subtraction, and then we used solving equations by multiplying and dividing. Now today we are going to go ahead and combine those two operations into one problem. And we're going to be solving equations with two steps. So a two-step equation is an equation with two operations. So first we're going to add or subtract or something like that, and then we're going to multiply or divide. So basically I wanted to show you the steps kind of in a visual of like what are we really doing when we're adding and subtracting and dividing and all that stuff. So first let's go ahead and look at this first area. Up here we have the equation 2x plus 1 equals 9. So in order to visually display this equation, I have two x's, so 2 times x, so 2 x's, and then I have 1, 1. And then that together is going to give me 9 ones, or 9. So the first step we need to do whenever we're doing two-step equations is add or subtract. So the first thing we want to go ahead and get the x term by itself. So first let's just get the 2x by itself. So we're going to go ahead and take 1 away, just how we said using the inverse operation. Instead of adding 1, we're going to take 1 away from over here and take 1 away from over here. So now we're left with 2x, so we still have our x's, 2x equals 8. So now I went ahead and rearranged our 1 so that we have two equal groups. So now we're going to go ahead and do our second step, which is multiply or divide. In this case, we're going to divide because we are multiplying by 2, so we're going to do the inverse operation so we can get that 2 away and get our x by itself. But in order to keep our equations balanced, we need to do over here and over here. So this time, now we can't take away any x's because we don't have any x's over here. So what we need to do is go ahead and split what we do have into two groups, which is dividing. So anytime we're dividing, we're splitting into different groups. So if we're going to split this into 2, we're going to have to be able to say, okay, one of these x's goes with 4 ones, and then the other x goes for 4 ones. So basically, we figured out that our answer is x equals 4. Now let's go ahead and look at it in the equation form of what you're going to be writing for me, but I wanted to make sure that you understood what it looked like visually. So over here, this is exactly what we just did over here. We have the equation 2x plus 1 equals 9. So the first step I'm going to do is go ahead and add and subtract, just like here. And so since we're adding 1, I want to do the inverse of adding, and so I'm going to take away 1 from both sides. So I'm going to take away 1 from over here, that'll cancel that out. Take away 1 from over here, we're going to be left with 8. So now we have 2x equals 8. So we still want to get our x term by itself, just the x, because we want to see what is the missing piece of the puzzle. So we have to take everything else away to be able to see what is revealed for this x. So now I'm going to go ahead and divide on both sides by 2. We want to keep our equation balanced, so if I take away something from one side, I have to take it away from the other so that we stay balanced. So I'm going to go ahead and divide 2, the inverse operation of multiplication, divide on both sides, and we will find that x is equal to 4, which is exactly what we found when we did it this way. I just wanted you to see it in two different ways. Now we're going to go ahead and do some more examples that will end up looking like this. Alright, let's look at example number 1. Example number 1 says 2x minus 7 equals 9. So basically, 2x minus 7 is the same as 9. So we want to figure out what is this x equal to. So in order to do that, we need to go ahead and take everything else away so that we can find what x is equal to. So the first step is to add or subtract because we want to get this x term by itself by getting away all of these constants. So we want to get 7 away. So instead of subtracting 7, I'm going to go ahead and add 7 because negative 7 plus 7 is going to give us 0, so it's going to cancel it out. But if I do it on this side, I also have to do it on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and add 7. So now I have 2x equals 16. So now we have 2x equals 16. We have all of our constants gone, but now we still have to get rid of the 2 because we want to figure out what is x by itself. So it's 2 times x, so I'm going to go ahead and do the inverse. So it'll cancel out the 2 from this side and cancel out the 2 from this side. So I'm going to go ahead and divide by 2. Those will cancel out. divide by 2 over here, and we're going to find that x is equal to 8. So if we plug in x here as 8, we'll figure out that 9 will be our answer, and that will give us the correct answer. So x is equal to 8, that is our solution. Okay, example number 2. We have y divided by 3 plus 2 equals 10. Remember, if it's in fraction form, we're talking about dividing. Because anytime you're talking about a fraction, you're just splitting something into pieces anyways, which is the same thing as dividing. It's just you're not used to seeing it like this yet. So we're dividing y divided by 3 plus 2 equals 10. Now we're solving for y, that's our variable. We want to know what it's equal to, so we need to get everything else away first. So first step, adding and subtracting constants away. So we want constants, goodbye. So 2, since we're adding 2, we need to go ahead and take 2 away from here and take 2 away from here to keep it balanced. So minus 2, that's going to give us 0. Minus 2, that's going to give us 8. So we have y divided by 3 equals 8. So now we need to go ahead and get rid of the 3 because we want to see what is y by itself. So since we're dividing here, we're going to have to multiply by 3 to get it gone. So multiply by 3. So we're going to find out that y is equal to whatever 8 times 3 is, which is 24. Okay, so y equals 24 is the solution. If we plug 24 back in, we could check and figure out that it is true. Okay, example number 3. This time, notice we have negatives. I realized that this tripped up some of you guys on the quiz yesterday. So we need to make sure we're really paying attention to our negative signs because it does change the answer. Because if our answer is supposed to be positive, but we came up with something negative, it's going to totally throw it off if we plugged it back in for the variable. So really pay attention to your signs. That's why we did the whole lessons of multiplying, dividing, and adding and subtracting integers. So that we would be ready for this so that we wouldn't get tripped up on that. So let's go ahead. It has negative 7 minus 8d equals 17. So the first step is to isolate the term with the variable. So negative 8d, we want to get it by itself because we're going to be solving for d. So first step, we need to take away what we can. So get rid of the constants by adding and subtracting. So since it's a negative 7 here, if we're going to cancel out a negative 7, we need to go ahead and add 7. So negative 7 plus 7 is going to give us 0. So I'm going to add 7 over here. So we're going to end up with negative 8d equals, 14, 24. So now we're going to go ahead and divide because we're multiplying by negative 8. So we want to get rid of the 8, so we're going to do the opposite operation, the inverse operation. So we're going to go ahead and divide by negative 8 over here and divide by negative 8 over here. Now remember, the negative has to go with it because we don't want this to be a negative d. We want it to be a positive d. So take away the negatives with the coefficient. So we canceled out our coefficient, and now we have d is equal to negative 3. Now keep in mind, we're dividing a positive by a negative. So we only have one negative sign, so our answer is going to be negative. So d equals negative 3 is our solution. You can always plug it back in to check yourself to make sure that you will get 17 when you do all of this over here. Now let's go ahead and look at the word problem. Okay, it says for Jillian's cough, her doctor says she should take 8 tablets the first day and 4 tablets each day until her prescription runs out. There are 36 total tablets. Solve 8 plus 4d equals 36. So basically, this variable d is standing for how many days is she going to be taking her medicine. So we know that this is 1 day, but then this is the remainder of the days that she's going to be taking her medicine, and then that should equal 36 tablets total eaten. So basically, our 8 here, that they already gave us the equation, so let's go ahead and first look at where they get the equation in the first place. So they put us 8 here because it says you should take 8 tablets the first day. So, okay, that's 8 of the tablets right there. Then plus, because we're combining, we want to see how many she's taking total. So now we're going to go ahead and see that it says 4 tablets the remaining days until her prescription runs out. So right now we don't know how long, how many days. It doesn't say 15 days or 10 days or anything like that. So we don't know how many days, so we're going to have to make it a variable. So 4 times however many days, because she's going to be taking 4 tablets each day. So depending on how many days she has, we'll multiply that by 4 and we'll figure out how many tablets she's taking. So let's go ahead, now that we have the equation, we can solve for that missing number. So the first thing we want to do is go ahead and get rid of the constant 8, because we have to add and subtract first. So it's a positive 8, so we're going to subtract 8 to cancel it out. Subtract 8 over here and subtract 8 over here. So we're going to go ahead and take it away, and we're going to get 28 equals 4D. Now we're going to go ahead and divide, because we're multiplying 4 times D. So in order to cancel 4 out, we need to divide. So divide by 4 on both sides to keep it balanced. So 4's cancel out, and we'll find out that D is equal to 7. So she is going to be taking medicine for 7 days. She's going to be having 4 tablets for 7 days, and then she's going to have 8 tablets for the first day. So she has a total of 8 days that she's going to be taking medicine. But we were trying to solve for how many more days, which is 7. All right. If you need to, go ahead and rewind the video. If there's any part that kind of tripped you up, rewatch it. And if you still have questions, write those down, and we'll answer those in class. Make sure all of your notes are done, and you need to go ahead and do the on your own problems. All right, let's go ahead and look at those. 4 problems to solve for me. The first one is negative 16 equals 6a minus 4. Number 2 is 1 minus 2k equals negative 9. Number 3 is negative 4 equals 8y minus 9y plus 6. And number 5 is negative 6j plus 4 plus 3j equals negative 23. Now, I want to remind you that if there are like terms that are either are constants with no variables, or terms that have the same variable, remember you can combine them first before solving for the variable. So make sure all like terms are combined before you solve. Good luck. We'll see what you get tomorrow.